Imagine a world where respect is not earned through kindness, not granted by virtue, but carefully manipulated, a currency far more powerful than fear or love. In the shadowed corridors of power, respect is the invisible thread that controls the dance of human behavior, unseen yet unrelenting. Machiavelli, the master of hidden truths, whispered that respect is not merely given. It is engineered. It is the subtle architecture of authority, the quiet pulse beneath the roar of dominance. You think you command your life, your relationships, your place in the social hierarchy. Yet, most are blind to the silent forces that shape admiration, obedience, and influence. The moment you step into the realm of respect, you realize it is a paradox. The more you chase it desperately, the further it slips away. The more you wield it with subtle precision, the more power it grants you. This is not a lesson in charm or etiquette. This is the dark psychology of human perception, a blueprint for the mind that sees beyond the surface. Machiavelli's hidden rule is not written in textbooks, nor announced in speeches. It is discovered in the glances, the whispers, the unspoken agreements that govern the fragile balance of hierarchy and loyalty. Those who understand it can bend reality to their will. Those who ignore it remain puppets, dancing to the strings of others. Tonight, we will step quietly into that shadowed realm. We will uncover the methods, the philosophies, and the chilling elegance behind respect as a weapon and a shield. And in the end, you may find that the true mastery lies not in commanding others, but in commanding yourself, understanding the hidden rules, seeing the invisible strings, and walking through the world unafraid. In the quiet corners of human interaction, respect is often mistaken for admiration, confused with fear, or disguised as obedience. Yet, those who have studied the subtle dance of power know that respect is neither given freely nor always earned through virtue. It is an art, a science, and, most disturbingly, a weapon. Machiavelli, centuries ago, understood this truth better than most. He saw respect not as a reflection of moral worth, but as a lever, a mechanism that could bend the wills of others without them ever realizing it. Consider a man in a dimly lit chamber, his words measured, his silence deliberate. He does not shout, he does not boast, yet everyone in the room unconsciously leans toward him, drawn by the gravity of his presence. This is respect in its purest, most silent form. It is earned in moments unnoticed, in gestures subtle yet deliberate. Machiavelli's hidden rule is simple. Those who control respect control reality itself. And the first lesson in this dark art is understanding that respect cannot be commanded openly. To demand it is to forfeit it. To coerce it is to corrupt it. Respect must grow, nurtured by perception, reinforced by consistency, and hidden behind the mask of ordinary interaction. The psychology behind this is both fascinating and unnerving. Human beings are wired to respond to competence and confidence, but more profoundly, to the projection of unshakable inner authority. When one exudes calm mastery, the observer is forced to acknowledge a hierarchy, a subtle claim to influence. This is why history's most powerful figures, those who moved entire kingdoms or shaped empires, were not always the loudest or the cruelest. They were the ones who made respect inevitable, almost unavoidable. They understood the invisible currents of esteem, the unspoken language that governs loyalty, fear, and admiration. Yet respect is not only a tool for commanding others. It is a mirror. The more you comprehend it, the more you see yourself, not as the world wants you to be, but as the world perceives you. In this shadowed reflection lies the first test. Do you manipulate respect for control, or do you understand it to master your own mind? The distinction is delicate, almost imperceptible, yet it defines whether a person rises above the fray or becomes ensnared in it. Machiavelli's insights are chilling in their clarity. He warns against false displays, empty gestures, and predictable behaviors. The world does not reward the obvious, but the deliberate. Respect responds to calculated unpredictability, to subtle demonstrations of strength, wisdom, and restraint. It is a dance of perception, where the steps are invisible but the consequences are tangible. The person who grasps this principle can bend social reality, quietly influence decisions, and navigate even the most treacherous corridors of human ambition. But the dark psychology of respect is not confined to strategy alone. It enters the intimate spaces of the mind. When respect is withheld, jealousy, resentment, and manipulation creep in. When respect is feigned, deceit and suspicion grow. To wield it effectively, one must first understand the fragility of human ego, the delicate balance between admiration and envy. This requires observation, patience, and, most importantly, self-control. Machiavelli calls this the mastery of perception, the ability to appear worthy without the need to constantly prove it. Here lies the paradox. The more visible your power, the less invisible your control becomes. Yet the more subtle your influence, the greater your command over reality. In essence, respect is a silent negotiation, a continuous transaction between what is shown and what is perceived. Those who fail to understand it are often blinded by ambition, seduced by noise, and crushed by their own overexposure. The wise, however, move like shadows, present, impactful, yet untouchable. As we step deeper into this exploration, remember, respect is not a moral measure, nor a reward for virtue. It is a force, a currency, and a lens through which the world interprets value. Machiavelli's hidden rule is both simple and terrifying. To command respect is to command reality, and to misunderstand it is to be commanded by it. Power is rarely loud. Respect, in its most potent form, is almost invisible. The man or woman who understands this knows that influence is not measured by the clamor of applause, but by the quiet submission of the mind. Machiavelli observed the world not for what people said, but for what they feared, admired, and avoided revealing. Here lies the second, deeper layer of his hidden rule. True respect is both earned and feared, acknowledged yet silent, wielded yet untouchable. Imagine a boardroom, a social gathering, or even a simple conversation. The individual who commands respect does so not through coercion, but by creating a presence that is impossible to ignore. They speak rarely, but when they do, each word carries weight. Their gaze is measured, their actions deliberate. In the psychology of the mind, such subtle dominance rewires perception. Observers, often unconsciously, assign authority, competence, and significance. They do not question, for to question is to admit their own subordination. This is the art Machiavelli so carefully dissected. To be respected is to shape the reality of others without forcing it. Modern life may appear chaotic, yet the same principles apply. Respect governs corporate hierarchies, social influence, and even intimate relationships. Leaders who grasp this invisible architecture thrive. Those who misunderstand it falter. Consider the political stage. It is not always the charismatic or the overtly strong who succeed, but the ones who master perception, who project consistency and quiet competence, who leave others uncertain yet compelled. Respect, in this sense, becomes a form of psychological currency, more valuable than money, more enduring than fear, and more subtle than charm. But here lies the challenge. The manipulation of respect is a double-edged sword. Misused, it corrupts character. Overused, it incites rebellion. Machiavelli warns us not of power itself, but of human misjudgment. To wield respect effectively, one must first cultivate self-mastery. Inner dominance precedes outer influence. Without understanding your own value, your own boundaries, your own silent authority, any attempt to control others is doomed to falter. The mind that seeks respect without reflection is like a ship lost at sea, at the mercy of currents stronger than itself. Observe the patterns of human behavior. Envy disguised as advice, admiration tainted by insecurity, loyalty contingent on self-interest. Respect thrives in the gaps, those fleeting moments where perception and reality intersect. Machiavelli's genius lay in identifying these gaps, exploiting them with precision, and using them to shape the world quietly. Every gesture, every silence, every decision carries meaning. To the untrained eye, it is subtle, even invisible. To the disciplined mind, it is a roadmap, a guide to navigating the complexities of influence without ever revealing the strings behind the stage. And yet, respect is not merely a tool for dominance. It is a lens for introspection. The more one understands its dynamics, the more one confronts the truth of human desire and fear. People do not respect you for what you hope they see. They respect you for the aura of control you project, the unspoken strength that assures them of your stability. The Machiavellian lesson is harsh, almost cynical. The world does not reward virtue, kindness, or truth. It responds to perception, and respect is its language. As this understanding deepens, a transformation occurs. You no longer chase admiration. You no longer fear judgment. You act deliberately, silently, and with a precision that makes your presence felt without a word. This is the ultimate mastery of Machiavelli's hidden rule. Respect is earned not through spectacle, but through disciplined projection of self, through comprehension of human fragility, and through the quiet assertion of authority. And here lies the moral, the final reflection. To wield respect is to command reality, yes, but to understand it is to command yourself. The darkness of this knowledge is not in manipulation alone, but in clarity, the clarity to see the patterns of influence, to navigate the shadows of perception, and to act with purpose beyond applause or recognition. Respect, when understood, becomes more than a social currency. It becomes a mirror, reflecting not who you pretend to be, but who you truly are when observed without distraction, without pretense, without fear. So, the hidden rule remains: seek not to dominate blindly, but to perceive wisely. Seek not admiration desperately, but influence subtly. Seek not applause, but understanding. For in the end, respect is not given, it is recognized. And those who recognize it first control not just others, but the very architecture of human reality itself.